Daddy, come look. There are bugs coming out of the ground and crawling all over the trees. I think they're cicadas, an excited 2-year-old Adrian said after bursting through the basement door. I followed him across the yard to where Bethany and Cheryl were shining a light, and sure enough, cicada nymphs were crawling around all over practically everything. These were periodical cicadas, also known as 17-year locusts. Cicadas, he had called them, I thought to myself. He is only 2. Young children pick up a lot more than we think they will. Learning about insects at a young age will enrich his life. He isn't just seeing bugs, he is seeing cicadas. Hi, my name is Kevin Shank, and my wife Bethany and I publish the Nature Friend magazine. In this video, we will show you why Nature Friend is a delight to the whole family. Each issue includes photography, stories, a drawing lesson and readers' drawings from a previous lesson, puzzles. Readers participate. Sarah Lewis wrote a gripping story about a northern cardinal nest she discovered outside a window in their home.
Interestingly, she flew toward the house and seemed to disappear into the bushes in front of the office window, the office being the room next to mine. Dashing out of my room, I fairly skidded to a stop at the office windows. Craning my neck to the side, up and down, I peered into the shrubs, trying to see where she had taken that bark. Just then the boxwood bushes level with the bottom of the windows quivered. I froze, then let out a little gasp. The female cardinal was right under my nose. I found myself taking my schoolwork outside so I could keep tabs on who was doing what. One day I heard a familiar cheer, cheer coming from the trees above me. Cheer, cheer came the response from the boxwoods. Mr. Cardinal was apparently asking Mrs. Cardinal out to lunch, for she hopped out of the bush and flitted behind the house with him. Knowing now was my chance, I raced over and squeezed between the boxwoods and the house. Parting the branches, I gasped. Lying in its woven cradle was one brown speckled egg. I could hardly believe it. I was a grandma. Racing into the house, I spread the news and showed my family the little treasure. What a miracle God performs each time one little egg is laid.
In the September 2014 issue, Caleb Cook, a reader from Colorado, told how he found and photographed a long-tailed weasel.
Grabbing my camera, I waited nearby for another glimpse and a photo. Under cover, the shy critter stuck his head out from a gap between the rocks, checking my whereabouts. Darting through a rocky passage, it emerged just enough to show its shadow. Finally, he mustered enough courage to venture to the top of the rock. He stopped and stared at me for all of 2 seconds, and with my camera on burst mode, I captured some of my favorite wildlife photos.
Every other month, Morris Yoder writes a column called The Heavens Declare God's Glory. In the July 2015 issue of Nature Friend, Mr. Yoder explains how we can know that the Earth is rotating on its axis.
A universe spinning around the Earth presents other major problems. Even the nearest star, our Sun, would be moving at a blistering speed of 24 million miles per hour, 50 times faster than the generally accepted speed of the Sun and many other stars as they pinwheel around the center of the galaxy. Pluto would speed away at approximately 1 billion miles per hour, over the speed of light. If the planets were actually moving this fast, we couldn't accelerate our spacecraft fast enough to reach them, as has been done. Satellites stay up because they are spinning fast enough around the Earth to stay away from it. Some are up high enough to match Earth's rotation speed. They always remain over the same area of the Earth's surface. If the Earth were not spinning, then those satellites would also not be moving. If they weren't moving, they would fall back to Earth.
Each year, the June issue of Nature Friend is a reader's issue. From cover to cover, we use submissions from our readers. In the 2015 Reader's issue, the Learning by Doing column was written by Joanna Sullenberger, a reader from Maine. Joanna explained how to raise monarch butterflies from caterpillars.
Only 2 days after we found the monarch caterpillars, they started to sit still on the lids. It appeared as though they were sleeping, but actually they were preparing to pupate. We noticed a little pad of silk near the back prolegs. By supper time, both caterpillars were hanging in an upside-down J position from the special pad of silk. If we looked closely, we could see their mandibles moving. When the caterpillar sheds its skin for the last time, the chrysalis is revealed. We didn't see this happen as it occurred during the night.
Another article featured in the 2015 Reader's issue was Birds That Boom by Judah Bruce, a subscriber from South Dakota.
These are greater prairie chickens. Prairie chickens are actually a type of grouse and not closely related to domestic chickens. The birds with the large throat sacs and erect feathers are males, calling and displaying to attract females. The loud sound the males make is described as booming. This sound, amplified by their inflated throat sacs, can be heard up to half a mile away. The birds are performing on a lek, or booming ground, which is an area of short grass usually elevated above the surrounding area. As they fight and display, one or two of these males will become dominant.
Ann Souder, a subscriber from Wisconsin, wrote August Adventure, a winning story in the May 2015 story contest.
I picked up my head and raised myself on one arm to look at John. I wanted to shriek, to scream, to run, but I didn't. I couldn't. I was looking straight into the beady black eyes of a skunk.
In the April 2015 issue of Nature Friend, Darren Vance wrote an informative article about hunting morel mushrooms.
When you find one, don't rush in to pick it. Stop and scan the surrounding area, for where there is one, there are likely more. Then you may work your way to your prize and carefully pinch it off near the base. Pulling it completely out of the ground is not advisable, for that would disturb the spiderweb-like root system known as the mycelium. This system can spread out over a wide area and will at times form a small clump-like structure known as sclerotium. This structure can either send forth yet another network of mycelium or send up the fruit, which we know as the morel mushroom.
In the September 2015 issue of Nature Friend, we published Camouflage, Hiding in Plain Sight, written by Sonia A. Randall.
Even fish are camouflaged. Many fish have dark-colored backs, so they blend into the depths of the water when seen from above. But their light-colored undersides help them blend into the surface light, so they are hidden from predators below them. Stripes work well to camouflage some animals in open grasslands. For instance, the horizontal and vertical stripes on a herd of zebras create an optical illusion, disguising the shape of each individual animal.
In the July 2015 issue of Nature Friend, Kathleen Bookbinder wrote a fascinating article about acorn woodpeckers.
Acorn woodpeckers live in groups called bushels. Each bushel is made up of 5 to 12 birds that live together in a tree such as an oak, cottonwood, sycamore, or willow. Like human families, these birds live in their homes for a long time, so they must choose carefully. The home must have soft, old bark and must be near or in an oak tree. The birds choose oaks because oak trees grow acorns, and acorn woodpeckers eat a lot of these nuts. The tree trunk must be soft because the family drills holes and hides acorns right inside it. The tree trunk is the family's very own food cupboard. It's called a granary. One acorn woodpecker granary can have up to 50,000 holes, each filled with one or more acorns, and that's a lot of nuts.
Aidan Troyer writes a monthly column on birding in Nature Friend. In the Birders Trail column in the April 2015 issue, Mr. Troyer wrote an interesting article about robins.
We didn't have a weather front moving through that day, which at times causes a fallout like this. It had just been a nice spring day. We have no idea where they came from and why they were massed in such a small area. It was not unusual to focus binoculars on any open spot and have a dozen to perhaps 50 robins in sight. They stayed about a day and a half, then disappeared as suddenly as they had come.
In the March 2015 issue of Nature Friend, Morris Yoder wrote about binocular astronomy in his column, The Heavens Declare God's Glory.
Any pair of binoculars can be used, but it's best to use one with large lenses. The size of the lenses is indicated by the last number in the binocular specifications. For example, a 10 by 50 binocular has 50 millimeter wide lenses. The first number shows the magnification factor. A 10 by 50 binocular has a view 10 times larger than normal. Binoculars for astronomical use should have at least 50 millimeter lenses. Large lenses gather more light, acting as light funnels, which allow many more stars to be seen and faint nebulosity to be more evident in deep space objects. The binoculars I use most often have 70 millimeter and 80 millimeter lenses.
One of the monthly features in Nature Friend is the You Can Draw art lesson. Each month, an artist teaches step by step how to draw or paint a bird, animal, etc. Readers who complete the art project can send their completed work to Nature Friend. We then select some of the submitted artwork for publication. In the January 2015 You Can Draw lesson, Michelle Beidler taught readers how to draw a squirrel monkey. We published a selection of the readers' squirrel monkey drawings in the May 2015 issue of Nature Friend. In each issue of Nature Friend, we include a section called Pictures and Poems and one called Creation Close-Ups. Readers can submit photographs, artwork, and poems to be used in these sections of the magazine. In the Learning by Doing column in the July 2015 issue of Nature Friend, Irma Wanger wrote an educational article about pollen.
Take a look at some pollen under the microscope. Put some pollen on a glass slide and add a drop of water. Stir gently so grains can be seen individually instead of in a big dark clump. Drop a cover slip on top of the mixture. First, look with the 10 power objective lens, 100x with 10x eyepiece, to locate the field of pollen, and then adjust your coarse focus adjustment for a clear view. The pollen grains will be dark colored, small, and mostly round or oval.
Each month, the first several pages of the study guide contain puzzles and other activities that are based on information found in that issue of Nature Friend. Here are the activity pages from the September 2015 study guide. An acrostic is on page 1. Page 2 has a crossword puzzle. Page 3 has fill in the blanks, true and false, and for you to research. Judy Kaufman writes a monthly column teaching creative writing in the study guide edition of Nature Friend. Here is an excerpt from her July 2015 column.
A summer, naturally, includes many baby birds being hatched. A common one yet always new is the robin. Find your own nest of babies to watch and write about. Go sleuthing. Find a nest by watching where the adults fly to. Then keep notes from day to day of your observations. And finally, you may have the triumphant climax when the young leave the nest, a perfect ending for your story. But get up on time. Then take all your notes and begin writing.
Each month in the study guide, Schaaf and Schenk writes a column titled Exploring Our Skies. Besides constellations, Schaaf teaches how to find objects with a binocular or telescope. Each month, this column covers a seasonally appropriate area of the night sky. The March 2015 column focused on the constellation Canis Major, the Great Dog.
For those who don't like to work so hard to split a double star, Canis Major contains another double that is among the most beautiful in the night sky. Unfortunately, this double star has no proper name. It is generally referred to as H3945 or 145 Canis Majoris. Some observers have dubbed it the Winter Albireo, after its similarity to the double star Albireo. To locate H3945, first find the star at Hera in the southern end of Canis Major.
In the September 2015 study guide edition of Nature Friend, Harold Schrock explained how to prepare your garden for winter.
When soil microbes are not supporting the demands of growing plants, they have more ability to feed each other, making significant beneficial changes in the soil. With decreased plant growth, there is a decreased supply of sugars, but even so, there is much more nutrition available for soil microbes when they do not have to compete with growing plants. Under the right conditions, the results can be astounding. Many times I have seen amazing changes in soil structure from fall to spring, when we take action in the fall to help speed up this process.
The Photo Critique is a monthly feature in the study guide edition of Nature Friend. Each month, this column teaches some aspect of nature photography. In the July 2014 study guide, Darren and Alan Schenk told how they photographed a ruffed grouse drumming, a behavior that many people never see, much less photograph.
sat up and peered out the window. The grouse was there. I composed the camera on the bird and waited. Soon it drummed again, and I got my first photos. After drumming, the grouse would look all around for a few minutes and then preen before drumming again. Shortly after 5:00 a.m. on May 5, I rolled out of bed and soon headed for the blind. Before long, the grouse started up on one of his other nearby logs. I settled back in my chair to wait. Around 7:20, he started drumming on the log in front of me. This time he posed beautifully on the log with no obstacles blocking my view. Over the next 2 hours, I was able to capture many photos as he put on quite a show.
Everyone in the family enjoys camp and cabin cooking, or ought to. Readers share favorite recipes. Send us a note requesting the complimentary mini cookbook of 20+ recipes from this feature. Go ahead and do it now. Just click the Send Request button. Bethany and I have 3 special offers for you. Special 1, a Nature Friend memory game is yours free, plus 24 study guides for the price of 18, with a 2-year subscription to Nature Friend magazine, Study Guide Edition, if you are among the first 50 people to respond to this offer. This offer is valid September 21 through 23. To fast track your order, you can click the link right now. Special 2. A 36-set Nature Friend memory game is yours free when you subscribe to Nature Friend for 2 years. This differs from Special 1 in that the study guides are not included. This offer is valid September 21 through September 25. To fast track your order, you can click the link below. Special 3. Save $3 on a 1-year subscription to Nature Friend with coupon code TOSE1513. This offer expires October 31. To fast track your order, click this link.